Freeman.
Hey, Rob.
Travis, how are you?
We met earlier, right?
Yeah.
He's speaking tomorrow, and he and his team go around the world.
When you have a giant mystery like this, it attracts people who want to say, I can solve it all. I have the entire picture. Here's the whole answer. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying, it's real. I know that for a fact, and here's why. Judge it for yourself. The light was kind of like, you know, when you look into the back of the jet engine. Yeah. And my own theory is that these sightings are not accidental. It's not like the aliens are going, oh, slap my forehead, dang, messed up. Human got a sight of me again, I'll have to be more careful next time. They're way too smart for that. I think the evolution in understanding has grown over time. Even the reaction to law enforcement. You know in the movie how they were totally skeptical and didn't want to admit that they believed it. And it was all, you know, we have to write it off as a murder, cover up for a murder. But lately, the law enforcement officers I've encountered have been very supportive and volunteered their own sightings to me because for two main reasons. A, they're privy to the details of the investigation, so they know this is real from that point of view. And plus, they're out late at night, they're trained observers, they're supposed to keep their eyes open, and they see things too.
Okay. Now, I remember last time we heard you speak, you had said that you had a second sighting, and you didn't get into too many details about that. Are you more free to talk about it
Well,
now?
I am. My other son, the one that wasn't with me at the time, found a website where more than a dozen people, close to 15 people, had reported it by the next morning. And these are all independent people who are not connected, and they were reporting this same sighting, same location, and everything. So I probably wouldn't have come forward without that supporting group of witnesses, but it was 2014, February 19th. I know that because it was my son's birthday. He was driving, and this giant black triangle. At first it looked like just a point of light. It was so far off.
And whereabouts was this?
This was, I just left a meeting at Burbank MUFON. Jan Harzan had just spoke there. He had just become the head of MUFON. Tracy Torme, the screenwriter on my film, spoke. And we were headed north up the 5 in Los Angeles. Saw this point of light off in the distance. And it moved incredibly fast. If you see a jet airliner heading in for a landing, it looks like it's barely moving. And, we know they have to be flying more than 100 miles an hour or they fall out of the sky. So this thing was moving so fast, it had to be faster than anything that we have at top speed. And yet it was able to stop right over the top of us. And when it did, it sort of tipped up a little bit, like as if whatever was providing the lift had to be pointed in the forward direction to neutralize that forward momentum. And, this thing's like a third of a mile across. It's huge. And to have that much mass stop that suddenly is just phenomenal. And then the front of the triangle turned 90 degrees, pointed off towards the Pacific, and accelerated. It's astonishing. I never would have believed something that big could fly, that big could stop it and accelerate that fast. But, there was more than 15 other people who saw it too.
Fantastic.
People that don't know each other, they, reported this independently.
Now, everybody knows your story. Do you think that, whoever it was that you were with at that time have ever been trying to contact you again or possibly abduct you again?
Well, I don't have any proof of that. I try to stick to the stuff I can document, but my personal opinion is that if we have a government that is keeping track of every transmission communication on the face of this earth and storing it there in Utah. If our comparatively primitive technology can keep track of that many people, certainly the aliens, in my opinion, would easily be able to identify individuals. If you saw one when you were a child and you see one as an adult, I think they know it's you. And it's no big deal for them to keep track. I mean, they're a lot smarter than we are.
If they did contact you, either in your sleep or while you're fully conscious, would you be a willing participant to go with them again?
I think I would like to have some answers, in a controlled, calm way. I was surprised at how frightened I was when I saw that thing in 2014. I thought I would have been over it by then. My son said, Dad, should we stop and take a picture? I said, no, keep going. And I'm kicking myself for that. I'm hoping some of those other 15 or so people, somebody took a picture,
And what's there to be really afraid of? I mean, you survived.
I've already decided that there's nothing to be afraid of. It's just some PTSD, connecting to the emotions I felt back then. It wasn't warranted, but, there was reasons for my fear that understandable, but it wasn't really justified by the actual circumstances.
Well, and we've interviewed tons and tons of people, but our goal is to actually go out in the field with them and see stuff and see it for ourselves. Because you hear so many stories. Are they true? How do you know? Until I see something myself. I had experiences when I was a kid, and it was in the newspaper the next day. So I don't care about talking. I don't have to try to get people to believe anything because I know what I saw, just as you know what you experienced. You don't care if people believe you or not. You know what you experienced, right?
And a lot of people are confused about the word believe. Do you believe blah, blah, blah? Well, it's kind of like people's confusion about court verdicts. If somebody comes up with a verdict of not guilty, that's entirely different from one verdict of innocent. Innocent means you couldn't have done it because this other guy did it. You couldn't have done it because you were in the next state. So it's the same thing with belief or not belief. If I say I don't believe that, I'm not saying I disbelieve it. That's an entirely different thing. Disbelieve means I think it's not true. Not believe just means I haven't looked at it enough to know whether it's true or not.
Well, that's true. And then with regards to this whole field, people say, are you a believer? Well, I always say I'm a knower. Because once you've experienced something, you're a knower. That's past belief, right? Belief is kind of, how do you even explain belief? It's kind of like going out on faith.
Well, for my mission to the public, I try to stick to what I can document so that they can verify it for themselves. It's helpful to be able to show people that it's verifiable, justifiable.
We've got to see and experience it for ourselves.
Well,
individually.
when you have a giant mystery like this, it attracts people who want to say, I can solve it all. I have the entire picture. Here's the whole answer. That's not where I'm coming from. I'm just saying, it's real. I know that for a fact, and here's why. Judge it for yourself.
Well, and to me, did you ever have an ant fart when you were a kid? Or you had a friend who had an ant fart, in your bedroom? To me, we are like the ant fart.
I used to believe in that analogy. Why would you want to stop and have a conversation with that ant?
Well, and the ant trying to study you, right? And to me,
I think it's a little different.
Yeah,
I really do think.
How would you explain it?
I think they do have an interest in it. I think the kind of consciousness that is dawning, barely so, on humanity is an exceptional situation for them. And they do have an interest in us above mere wildlife.